Hello, I'm Stephen Mason and welcome to the podcast series, and I have a special guest. It's none other than Paul Rae, the movie pop guy. He is on the phone during this time. There we go. During this time, we're about to watch Ghostbusters and I'm about to press play now. So hopefully these are going to run in time. It's going to be so. This is going to be really interesting doing it this way. I met Paul nearly 15 years ago, and our love of interest in films. So I'm just happy to have this guy on it because he's a fountain of knowledge. And when it comes to Ghostbusters, the chances are he's not going to shut up. So
That's it, man.
So when I was a kid, I always thought that this woman was letting all the ghosts out.
Really?
Yeah. Because I see.
Really good, that, like.
Well, I seen the cartoon first. I was exposed to the cartoon, and then my mum bought us the VHS of Ghostbusters, and because obviously I already knew the characters, and it's a fucking dark movie for a PG, mind.
Definitely, especially 1984, like, you know what I mean? Definitely, man. But yeah, I mean, the first time I watched this film was it was one of those Columbia ones, you know, where you buy like one video, but you have to buy 10 a year. One of those video library things. I was listening to Robocop.
Oh yeah, when you buy 10 get one free kind of thing. I just remember it being in like new release. Well, it wouldn't have been new release, but I was going to them. I was in the Metro Centre, you know, because the Metro Centre when you're a kid seems massive, and I just remember it in one of the shops and just picking it up, and it's just the iconic, like, everyone in the world knows what the Ghostbusters logo is, don't they? So.
That's it, man. Yeah. I mean, I watched a documentary on Netflix, the movies that made us, so I've got a bit more knowledge I didn't know at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
There's loads of symbols that are made, and obviously they went for the Dead Easy No Ghost logo, which obviously is universal now, isn't it?
Well, they didn't want to get sued off Casper, though, did they?
That's it. Aye. But again, the library bit, yeah, when she's going through and those books on just on wires, but I mean, that's such a great particle effect.
Well, these things here, that's all. This is all pipe work, isn't it? It's just air pushing them out.
It is, yeah.
It'd be a nightmare to pick all them up for another take. Can you look a bit more scared? All right, well, I'll pick all these library cards up.
Definitely, yeah. Bit of a downer, though. This librarian lady just died a few months ago, like.
Oh, did she? I thought she would have been long dead here.
No. Just a few months ago. I don't know what her name was like, but
the library lady.
I think this is like a millionth time I've seen this now. But it's always famous.
I've seen it not long ago because Brittany hadn't seen it. There we go. Logo, the tune. The new film really starts quite off bleak, doesn't it? The girl Ghostbusters. It just has that shot of Manhattan and it has the logo, and that's really it, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. I've also noticed, like, when obviously the logo's just been on it, Ghostbusters, it's like separate, isn't it? So I always thought it was so weird, instead of just the long title all together, it's just weird seeing like the Ghost and then the Busters underneath. But then obviously, they had two different names for it, like Ghostbusters, Ghost Smashers. But obviously they couldn't use Ghostbusters because of obviously the Filmation one, wasn't it? And I mean, they'd do different takes.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, Ghost Smashers, because they have rights to it.
Because they didn't get it at the very end, did they? That looks like Sharon Stone.
Isn't it weird that Bill Murray looks so old, but yeah, he's so young? Yeah,
see, like Bill Murray, I'd watched Stripes a few weeks ago and I'd never seen it, and I picked it up, and that's obviously, there's a lot of origins. A lot of origins of Ghostbusters come from Stripes. But Bill Murray, you know what I mean? He's just like, he's a fascinating guy. The documentary about Bill Murray, of just how he just turns up at random house parties and stuff like that. It's absolutely legendary, that film. But you look at him and go, you know, he's got the receding hairline. I mean, he must have had that quite young at age. And he's just, you know what I mean? And if you look at like the Hollywood actors of the 50s and the 60s and all, like, you know, the handsome and all that, he just knocks it out the park every time he does it. He's not like, you wouldn't say, oh, you're going to be a movie actor. It's just his look.
Yeah, I mean, that's it with the Ghostbusters. They're just like out of shape, middle-aged men. Not like Schwarzenegger or anything like that. Not like superheroes. Just basically anyone could be those people. And I think that's what the film is about. It's more grounded for anyone to. I mean, you could do those roles if you had that background. I mean, it's just like everyday people. Fighting ghosts kind of thing. But yeah. I mean, as a kid, I always found this bit a little bit boring. But I think just because I just can't wait to see the ghosts, really. So watching now as an adult, I mean, it makes more sense. He's just hitting on the chick all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a proper sex pest, isn't he?
Yeah, you can not get with it these days, like.
And that guy's hair, his huge hair. Marilyn Monroe on the wall there.
Oh, yes.
Laser light. That looks like Johnny Five. It's going to blast you. No, massive love for Ghostbusters. I had a theory, though. I was thinking about this morning. Dan Aykroyd doesn't really rework with people, does he? And this is one of them rare times he's worked with Bill Murray again with Ghostbusters 2. But if you think about it, like, I was thinking, he worked with John Candy, Great Outdoors, tremendous film, but he didn't rework with John Candy again, except for Canadian Bacon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like Eddie Murphy, they wanted Eddie Murphy in this, didn't they? So, but that never fruitioned. Damon Wayans and Daniel Stern, he sort of doesn't seem to rework with people. Dan Aykroyd.
No, I think because obviously they had that click, didn't they? The Saturday Night Live click that they all had, and that's why they just work off so well together. And I mean, these were the comedy heroes of Saturday Night Live in the 80s, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and Dan Aykroyd's always been popular about pushing new people, because one person who got his big breakthrough, Dan Aykroyd's Adam Sandler. Because they're in the Adam Sandler's in the Coneheads.
Alright. I don't know that, like. I love Dan Aykroyd. I've always been a fan of Dan Aykroyd. Like, he's just so out there. Especially when he came up with this idea for a script that was like set in the future and it's going to cost millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And reworking weeks to get it back down to like a new treatment. That's when obviously you got Paul Rae and stuff like that. But yeah,
I don't think Harold Ramis is the best actor in the world, but he's perfect. He is just Egon. That's his film, and like, you know, he's a great filmmaker. But obviously, watching him in Stripes and stuff, I was just like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Egon's definitely his. Jeez, I'll just crap myself there with a book. I'm sure a lot of I was devastated to find out that Ghostbusters 2 didn't have any commentary, because when you do the commentary on Blu-ray, you get these little outlines of Harold Ramis and that watching it in a cinema with Ivan Reitman.
Yeah, and Ivan Reitman just sitting there, on the DVD one. Yeah, it's just transferred from the DVD over to the Blu-ray, but that was, at the time, that was like cutting edge. Yeah. And Sony spent a fortune on it. But again the film of Ghostbusters, they've used the same transfer so many times. I don't think they'll have the original negatives anywhere, so I don't know what transfer they're using. Do you know what I mean, for the quality of it?
Because when Sony released the first batches of mastered in 4K, and there was only maybe 6 to 12 titles. Your favourite Zilla was one of them movies, but I've got it actually on Blu-ray, but it's called Mastered in 4K, and it's it was the first time I've personally seen blue come into the Ghostbusters, because that's something that's missing now. Ghostbusters has always been black, red, and white, and now we've got this. Everything's got like this blue flash on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, when they released stuff like that, yeah. And then they went back to the black and red one for the 30th anniversary, for like the latest anniversary edition, I forgot what it is now. Like,
yeah.
It was PK meters, man. We've got PK meter. And then obviously that PK meter shows up in League Live, doesn't it? And from a Commando, from the pop shop.
Sperm Commando. Look at that camera, man. Look at that viewfinder on the camera.
I know, man.
But like, say, in here, Bill Murray's just literally he doesn't even look like he's delivering a script. He just looks like he owns the role.
Yeah.
Like Harold Ramis there, look around the corner, put his eyebrows up, and he's just like, Bill Murray's just has to glance.
Do you know the bit where he goes, listen, can you smell that? It's like, it's just weird. I mean, just what a weird quote. I was thinking that's just a weird quote. I think it's just me, you know.
The improv. I mean, on this end, obviously the audio isn't so high. I mean, you probably watched it fully, like, but I have to keep the audio down.
Subtitles on.
Oh right. Oh yeah. I suppose yeah. Getting the gear on.
I've seen this film a million times.
He's still filming in the background there, and then he's off. But when you're doing like podcasts, I always like sort of look around and like you look at like I was watching. I did a podcast with Tremors 3 the other night, and this bit with the bookcase, man.
Yeah. Slime everywhere, man. I mean that slime's mid. I love it get stuck to his hand. I know his shoe. Let's say get stuck to his shoe and stuff like that.
Well,
these effects. I mean.
The bookcase has just gone down, so hopefully we're in the right time. Yeah.
Right time.
I was saying when I was watching Tremors 3, man, I was like, oh, look at them VHSs behind it, and normally they're just props. But when Burt Gummer moved, I was like, had Jean-Claude Van Damme's Sudden Death on the shelf. I was like, bloody hell! You just never know looking in the background. I mean. Oh, and here we get this effect for when this was done was absolutely amazing. When she transforms.
Yeah, I mean, on my side, I'm just up to the bit where they're scanning her now, like when the first say her.
Oh yeah.
There we go. There.
Bill Murray.
I'm up to now.
Yeah.
Full toss vibration. It's real. It's great, man. I mean, you cannot beat practical effects. I mean, stuff like that, and I mean, compositing and stuff like that. No CGI. This is 1984, well, 1983, 84. You know what I mean? And that's such a small time slot to do it. Boss Studios, wasn't it?
Was it a 30 million budget or a 10 million budget?
I think they started at 10 and it went up a little bit. If I remember right, like.
I mean, there you can just see through her, but she's got so much detail. I mean, to me, that's a guy. She's just too ugly to be a woman now.
Yeah, right, yeah. And I like how Peter's just like the bravest one. It's just crazy, man.
But it's even like the blowing like now it's just like CGI, that's CGI, but just even like this the wind blowing in the face like off camera to give that effect of something's going on. Get her!
That's it,
Get her! That's just. I mean, like that's a PG, man. And this is where really when the music really kicks in. It's got that sort of funny jingle going down there. Dan Aykroyd, man.
Pigeons flying everywhere.
Dan Aykroyd just totally selling it there. I love watching extras as well. When extras like they clearly like spot the camera and just deadpan the camera. It's quite funny.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all the science talk stuff now.
But these, like all three of these, I mean, Bill Murray was on the rise at this time. He had done stuff like Where Buffaloes Roam and Stripes, and Dan Aykroyd. Blues Brothers had been, hadn't it?
Yes, that was 1980. Yes.
And Trading Places had been as well, hadn't they? So Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray were on the superstar, just about to break superstardom, weren't they? Really?
Yeah. This is a film that made Sony a hell of a lot of money. Like, it's like a #1 film for absolutely ages, wasn't it? And again, in the 80s, I had things like Ghostbusters,
dude,
this week, made that this week. And they don't even do that these days now because you can just go on the internet and see how much films are made. But in the 80s and stuff like that, like Sony used to put in papers, Ghostbusters made over like $1 million and blah blah blah. And that's how they used to advertise the films.
I don't know if you noticed it, but Dan Aykroyd's carrying this briefcase at the side of him, and it's where the VHS goes to record on that camera, I think.
Yeah. The old-fashioned, like, it's like an RCA one, isn't it? Like, this videotape, like, they would have when they would do, like, filming, like, locations and, you know, like, news reports and stuff like that. Freaking camcorders, man. And, I always remember a guy wheeling out in a set and he's got like the headphones on. It was proper like Sony headphones. There again, he's walking an outfit like a band on it. You know those bands that used to get stuck in your hair. Sony Walkmans.
Yep, there he goes. Always taking the camera off him. That he looks like you just see him briefly, but he looks like Jeffrey Jones. But Jeffrey Jones was a lot younger at that point, but just like older Jeffrey Jones and like Ravenous or some of that guy who's just appeared.
Oh yes. the kids at home.
Well, that's it. There's loads of... I mean, check out Bill Murray's shoes there, but... all the smoking in this movie.
Look at the people in the background, just you're right. I never noticed that until now. Actually, watching now, probably.
You just need to look for extras, I
never even noticed that.
People
they said the drinking and the smoking in this, and obviously they had to dumb it down for Ghostbusters 2 because obviously the real Ghostbusters came out, so a bit more cartoony.
There's a lot of shits, and I mean, but then like you had 15s were quite new though, weren't they? It wasn't the Gremlins and Indiana Jones.
PG-13.
Yeah, that's when we got
1985, wasn't it? Spielberg. So he wanted to, instead of going straight to like an R rated, he wanted something in between. And obviously, Temple of Doom and Gremlins was the first really PG-13s.
Yeah.
I mean, how many loans do you need? Jesus Christ! How many mortgages and stuff?
I know, it's hard enough to get. Right, this guy, right, just behind him. Right, behind Bill Murray right now, the fuzzy hair, he has just been outside, he has just been outside the bank when they run out. So, that is an extra being reused.
Alright.
And that's LA. No, that's New York. And that's LA, because this is the same set used in The Mask, isn't it?
It is, yeah. With the garage people, it is, yes.
All I wanted was an oil change. Oh. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I always asked a kid what does when Egon says they should be condemned, because as a kid I didn't know what condemned meant. Then obviously I'd ask me, Dad, what does condemn? He goes, they need to get rid of it and break it down, blah blah blah. And so that was all like a lot of, like I said, I learned a lot from this film.
Oh yeah, I mean, just a random story though, just to cut off. There's a game called The Condemned on the. It was only on the 360. And it's one of them first persons, and you like GoldenEye when you're going around and you get used to like your gun. On this game Condemned, I couldn't find a weapon, and you pick up this teddy bear and you went, "What the fuck? You gonna chuck a teddy bear at somebody?" And you're going around and like how you used to like your guns pointed forward, and all you could hear was, "I'm gonna get you," and I was like, "Who's saying that?" And it's a very dark, scary game. Then all of a sudden, the teddy bear's head snapped backwards, looked straight out to me, and popped its eyes open and went, "Rah!" I was like, right, I'm putting that game off. I fucking shit myself.
Really? Oh my god.
So Sigourney Weaver, she,
yeah.
I was say, Aliens hadn't happened yet, was it? The Aliens was the next year.
No, 86 was Aliens, yeah. Obviously, she did Alien. But then she wanted to do something a bit more comedic, so obviously everyone knows when she went for the job interview, she barked like a dog for Ivan Reitman, and that's how she got the job, really. And like I said, I remember in the documentary, he said he still got the feature footage of her in the audition, and he would never ever release it. Rick Moranis, I absolutely love Rick Moranis. That
was going to be John Candy, though, wasn't it? But he couldn't. Because John Candy's also in Stripes, yeah.
Oh, man. Rick Moranis, man, this and Little Shop of Horrors, two of my favourite 80s films.
Well, you got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and oh god, what else has he been in?
Little Giants, Spaceballs,
Dark Helmet.
Oh my god, I just realised I actually dress like Rick Moranis now.
Oh, you do actually, aye.
Oh my god, the glasses and the hair and me tops. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he always gets locked out. 2 2 0 6.
Yes, you're right, mate.
Hey, let's go. I don't like. It's almost like a hotel to me. These apartment blocks, but there's the trailer, the advert. Sorry. Now there's a little bit of here. Is it here where she's got Stave Push Marshmallow Man?
In the kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, I never noticed that as a kid. Yeah.
There's TVs with little knobs and stuff.
555 number, man. To believe you.
Again, then this advert had to do with Ghostbusters, Ghost Smashers, Ghost something else, like 3-4 times until I know what the title was called. You know what I mean?
Because it was the Film Animation who owned the other Ghostbusters.
It was, yeah, with the gorilla and stuff like that from the 70s, yeah. And then I think they paid them $5 million just to keep stum.
There you go. There's Stave Puff. There's the marshmallows, like proper foreshadowing. And even this is a great practical effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no CGI there.
I can't step, man, awesome.
Look at them eggs, man. Like, Howard's about to pop. It's just class. It's, you know, it's a golden era for films, the 80s, I think, because, you know, like, CGI was happening, but it was used very, like, it's almost like a last resort, you know.
CGI was really used for, like, the Wrath of Khan, for the computer, for I forgot what it's called now, for, like, a computer, and also it was used in the last Starfighter, wasn't it really?
Zoil. Yeah, there's a good sign for you, Paul. Ghostbusters. So, like, I mean, I've never been to New York, but I've been to LA, and it's mental to think that it's the opposite side of their country, and you think, like, because people stop all the time to take pictures of this fire hydrant. It's even in the Spider-Man games and stuff.
49, I think it's called, yeah.
And it's just, you know, to think that the inside of it's LA, it's mental.
Yeah. I mean, look at Ecto 1, look at its further apart, man.
I still remember years ago at work when you bought the Ecto 1 when we got them in and, like, some clearance, and I was just like, I mean, they were still quite expensive. I was talking about £80, and I was hoping that we'd get one in, and, like, nah. I would love an Ecto 1 in the Arcadia movie room.
Mate, the best Ecto 1s you can get at the moment is Playmobil ones.
No.
Ecto 1 and Ecto 1A. Absolutely awesome.
What's Egon doing down there?
Yes. Look at the computers, man. Probably putting a modem in full internet.
Look at the size of his hair. Because she totally changed his character in the second movie, her.
Well, she had to, because obviously the real Ghostbusters, she actually looks younger in the second film than she does in the first film.
Yeah.
And he pots.
That is some hair she's got going there, mind.
Sigourney Weaver. Again, I can't wait for Answer the Call to come out. The trailer looks amazing for it.
Answer the Call trailer?
Not Call, I mean, Afterlife, sorry.
Afterlife.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I generally think what they'll do in Afterlife, I love it how he hurdles this. This could have went so wrong. He just makes it. I love it how... I think what they'll do in the new one, obviously Harold Ramis is dead, and I think that's what sets it off, and I think they'll all come back at the end to help out.
Yeah, because the main shaft's like a zoo, like his main shaft that's like do Gozer and Zool and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't wait.
It's gonna be amazing. Check out that technology, man, in that room.
I know the thermal like computers on that filming it. Bill Murray has pushed up hair. Look at it. Floppy disks and stuff.
See, the thing is, like, with Dan Aykroyd, he's so, like, he's a massive, he's not a Scientologist, is he?
No, but his family believed in ghosts and stuff like that, and I think his granddad or his great-granddad was like a psychic or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, he just comes out of all his stuff. I mean, he obviously wrote a lot of the script and just, you know what I mean, it's burnt into his brain, I think.
Yeah.
A can of Bud. I mean, sitting around drinking a can of Budweiser in the middle of the day.
I remember I think it's one of the scenes in the background where they're having a Chinese. There's one of the scenes where they're fixing a proton pack or they're fixing a throw or something like that. If I remember it, I'll point out to you. It's in the background somewhere. If I remember right. Just gonna check Miss Dana out. I mean, Barrett's apartment out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all just all really paint work, isn't it? Models and stuff like that. Dana Barrett's extra levels on her apartment.
Oh yeah. That's it. Like a composite, like a matte painting.
Matte painting, that's it. Yeah.
It's Dr.
When you
Venkman.
hear the piano in Afterlife, don't you, at the start? Ting, ling, ling.
Oh, she's got. I thought she had a few VHSs on there. VHSs weren't like.
Expensive.
Well, no, they weren't around at 85. They were that expensive, but like.
They were like, I think they're like 100 quid a day. I think 82, 83, something like that. They were like 80 quid and that for like 80 and stuff.
It's a mental laugh.
But yeah. I can't pay about paying £5 these days for a film.
Yeah. I know. Like when I get random. I got a message the other night, but I get random comments on my podcast from people like, "Oh, I thought this was a free movie," and like, why would I put a free movie on the internet? It's a podcast comedy. It says it in the title.
Yeah.
And then you get the people who are like, all you're doing is sitting around ranting away, and like all you're doing is sitting on a keyboard ranting at me. I mean, it's the same thing. So check out that hi-fi. So back to the Stay Puff on the shelf there.
I love a microwave. Proper like wooden microwave.
Fucking huge, that microwave.
It's like my first one.
Those
eggs, man. I'm starving. I'm gonna have some eggs.
I know. I was in the shop the other day and there was some eggs and I was like, I don't know, I really want eggs.
Just leave them in the kitchen and cook themselves.
Oh, there's some Coca-Cola, ribbed, yes, like a ribbed can, yeah.
Because I think was the Sony bought out by Coca-Cola, or the chairman was working for Coca-Cola. So it's something. I knew Sony had to do something with Coca-Cola. I remember something like that.
It's all product placement though as well. Like that's how they sometimes get around with stuff like that, don't they? Yeah, I think back then you were either a Pepsi or a Coke.
If you watch anything Sony now, it's Sony TV, Sony mobile phone, Sony this, Sony that. I mean, obviously they promote the product, like, but Jesus Christ, cram it in your fork.
I mean, that's just a set. You can obviously like the backdrops out the windows and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's nice and bright, isn't it?
I don't know if it was Die Hard or it might have been Gremlins 2, but I think it was Gremlins 2 because I was listening to the commentary of that, where they even were going like get backdrops to look so realistic. In the Clamp Tower, when it's in the Clamp's office, they had like mini aeroplanes flying along in the background, and like it's something you would notice unless you've seen it at the pictures then or now on a big 4-scale television. Yeah. Right, that's quite creepy. The face in the mirror, if you can see that, the top hat guy. Because you can't see it, you can only see it in the reflection. That was quite creepy.
Oh, yeah. I never noticed that before, like.
She's got some massive hair.
Here comes the sex pest again. Is this how you get dates with ladies these, well, in the 80s, is it?
Fun. Well, that's it. I mean, you couldn't go on social media and hunt them down like your techniques, you know what I mean?
Social media, I don't even touch that stuff, me, man.
You know, it's not Tinder. Oh, Rick Moranis is back and locks himself out.
He's awesome, Rick Moranis.
It's a call. It's a call.
Yes, I definitely got Rick Moranis' hair now. Jesus Christ.
It's definitely endorsed by Budweiser.
There you go. He's doing the wand, isn't he? He's screwing a screwdriver in the wand on the table.
You have? We got one! I mean, they're up having lunch and beers and she's still at work. I mean, what's going on there?
Well, business is slow.
We got one.
I love this bit so much. I mean, it's a fast-moving film, like, isn't it? If you think about it, watching it now, it's like...
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a whole, like, setting up a business and getting to know characters. Check out them pinball machines and they said they were broke.
God, wish I could afford a Chinese. I would eat with food first, like.
See, you can see there, I mean, they're, like, even having the free cupboards. I mean, they're proper old school, like, librarian things, them. I mean, when Winston come along, he doesn't even get himself a changing room.
That's it, man.
I mean,
I think the bus boys clean up the town. Oh, there's
that is so sped up. That is so fast. It's bouncing along there.
Supposed to use a hubcap.
Din. Hi, it's... Anyone seen a ghost? But this film suffered dramatically on VHS for because obviously it's very wide, the movie in lens, and often like I think on VHS, I think Harold Ramis would be cut off here.
But they pan and scan.
Yeah.
In an elevator also when I've turned his bottom pack on. That's all pan and scan. I mean, this is in the 1.85. I'm watching it through. And
this guy absolutely nails the performance, the manager.
Yeah. Apparently he got fired on the job because he's a proper actor and Bill Murray's loads of like interpreting all the time, you know, like carrying on to take so many times for it. I mean, that's the first time you see the proton packs. I mean, come on, how cool did he look? Look amazing in uniform and stuff.
I've actually got one of them Ghostbuster jackets. I actually had it on last night. The shell suit. The one from work, aye.
Nah, typical didn't fit me. Good.
No smoking. I gotta check that sign out.
Going up.
I love it how they're all like, it's just when they switch them on and they all like back into the corner because it's like, it's unlicensed, they haven't planned anything yet ever.
That's it. Again, you're right, in the pan and scan version, this would have been so much cropped. And I just love it when they said, when Egon turns it on, you hear the humming noise, and they're all just, move out of the way.
See, like this would have been shot in, I would say, LA. This is like, looks like it's a set. You know.
Yeah, especially when it brought it down.
She probably gets, what the hell are you doing? Fucking hell, man. Just completely like... But like, if it was now, it would all be CGI, but the fact that you've got a burning toilet roll on the floor and that like got smoke coming off it, that attention to detail, you know what I mean? The smoke, the little fire.
When she goes, what the hell are you doing? She's actually talking about the pyrotechnics people there, because obviously she didn't realise it was going to blow back quick, if you know what I mean. So there's actually real life emotion that she did. I mean, because she didn't know it was actually going to like be that bad.
Well, it sometimes goes, it can go wrong, you know what I mean? It's, again, it was talking about the 80s, risks were taken, practical effects, and here again, now, I didn't realise how big this puppet was until you see, like, I mean, the cigarette being stuck to his mouth there, man, how big Slimer actually was, as a puppet.
Oh, yeah. And then there's different sizes of them too, isn't there?
But it's, obviously, it's John Belushi, isn't it?
He was, yes.
It's the ghost of John. Yeah, it's the ghost of John Belushi.
Was it called Onion Head or something like that?
Aye.
I mean, look at this practical effects. It was Ray starts shooting the proton beam. I mean, they had to really retroscope it. They had to draw them in on the frames. I mean.
Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Creeping up his butt. So, did you ever play the video game?
Oh, I loved the video game. I absolutely loved it.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
I got it from when it first came out. It came out in America early, like 2 weeks early, and I got it from Granger Games on the import. I absolutely loved it.
I was always devastated because when I seen early development, there was a scene with like a shark going around New York and stuff, and I think it got cut. But it has been remastered, and it's something I've been wanting to pick up on the PlayStation.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Bill Murray gets slimed here. Music cue, Pending Doom. I mean, That's awesome as good as well. Like, why is he lying on the floor rocking? Because the weight of them proton packs. I mean, they wouldn't have been that heavy, but they're meant to be heavy. You know what I mean?
No, not in the very first film. They're really, really heavy. So in the second film, they remolded them a lot later, and they put extra padding on the backs and on the straps. So when you watch the second one, you see the straps are actually more padded on the front, especially in the courtroom scene. But yeah, they're remolded again, and there's little tweaks, little differences between the Ghostbusters 1 pack and the second pack. Like the knob on the back on the first one is like grey,
Yeah.
but then the second one it's black, and there's certain bits they've changed. Obviously, you know what I mean, you have to be proper nerdy to notice stuff like that.
Well, I often criticise movies when they go binocular effects and they just hit that figure of 8 on its side to emulate that it's a binocular shot. But like, they could have just done it there, but they've went that extra mile and they've got like little lights going on the side, just little tiny bits of like special effects.
Detail. Yeah. And again, in VHS quality, you wouldn't have seen that because it would be
cropped. Yeah.
And again, the slimer going around the chandelier is only there's only a peanut painted green. Because they had to do this effect really quick going around the chandelier. So that's a little peanut painted green.
See, I told you Paul Rae would know loads of information. But now it's...
Useless. Don't forget us. Don't cross the streams.
Aye, don't cross the screen. But again, that's more of a... that must come from a joke. Like, don't... Like, a toilet joke, almost humour about it, isn't it?
I use it for the past few years when I get the toilet. By myself.
You don't have to worry about anyone standing next to you at the moment at the toilet. I mean, look at that, man. Just like the attention to detail of the wine going straight through him and going down, but it's actually, you know what I mean? It's actually pouring down on it.
I mean, how much like the explosives would have had to use this on this bit alone? I mean, and if you look at the proton streams, actually go into the proton gun in the floor instead of going out. It actually goes backwards into it.
Aye, it's amazing, like, effects on the proton pack.
And I really hope Ghostbusters Afterlife will have some effects in it. I mean, like the practical stuff.
Aye, there's just too much CGI now, man.
A bit of both, I hope, like.
Ever since he did that, I've wanted to try that, but never succeeded. Whipping at restaurant here.
And if you look, it looks like there's a bit of like lens flare or something above him when he's going to do it. So I don't know if that's a reflection or something.
Oh yeah, just be a light flare.
Yeah.
But even like the colour on the faces, do you know what I mean? Like
the lights from the
yeah, that would have had to been like shot prior to it. I looked at the trappery.
Well, that's it, because obviously that was like so the special effects people knew when the guns were getting used, so they could light up and they kind of match it to the streams.
See, with Ghostbusters, I think I've still got the VHS. I've got the because you only used to get like 2 episodes on a VHS tape when it wasn't on like television. But it's the one with a baseball player on the front cover, looking angry.
Right.
But I've got the DVD, which has got all the episodes on.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the real ghost. I mean, again, on the track, someone who had to draw all that electric charge onto the track. You know what I mean? But yeah, the real Ghostbusters, the Sandman was the worst one. He scared the hell out of me, the Sandman.
$14.
Again, like Bill Murray's bit when he comes in, goes, we came here so we kick its ass. They had to do it a few times, and then times on TV, the ass bit's always been cut to something else.
Yeah, we came, we kicked it, and cut.
And I didn't realise until like maybe a few years ago, Egon's actually telling him how much it's going to cost by putting his fingers on his face. And I mean, and Bill Murray looks over, and that's really great.
Yeah, that's what.
I never noticed that.
That's really well cast.
It's expensive, that like.
I will not pay it. Ghosts? Question mark. I've never found Sigourney Weaver attractive. Oh, look at that random guy in the background just deadpanning the camera.
Aye.
Touching his neck. Look at him. And he's off. Get the big montage. I'm going to talk pretty loudly because obviously the music is playing now. Obviously that song is iconic to the movie as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a big debate. If it'd been like, if it was ripped off by Hugh Louis, you know what I mean, and news and stuff like that. But if you look at the photographs on the newspaper, it's actually like the end scene. It's in a stream. Some of the pictures on it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's Larry King. Is that Larry King?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. There, look, them people in the background near Christmas trees. They're looking at the camera.
And the Rockefeller.
I love that
Well,
picture.
obviously, because I think one time, the first time we put the suits on, Ivan Reitman made them run around before they had permits to film.
Isn't this scene right here when they're running down the streets the first scene though, isn't it? The shot.
That's it, yeah. Like I said, that's the one where, like I said, they didn't have a permit to thingy, just to see what it looked like on camera, really. And obviously, when you seen how the reactions, we went, we've got a really good film here.
Hmm.
And you look at the costumes, the suits look a bit, obviously, off colour. They don't look like the khaki suit, they look a bit more dark greyish.
Look at the size of that telly.
I know.
I mean, that's probably... Oh, so this scene... Hang on. So this is an important scene. This is like when you asked your parents when you were a kid what's going on here. Because this is a deleted scene, isn't it? Because this is the cabin.
I thought it's Fort William or Fort something, and obviously they found loads of VHSs a few years ago and this scene was actually on it. It was supposed to be a completely different scene. They found loads of VHS on it, and they put it on the special editions in America. The first edition that came out, so the full scene's on there. But yeah, I had no idea what was going on. I still don't. I'm just innocent lad, really, man.
Yeah. So Ernie Hudson's just entered. Obviously Eddie Murphy was meant to be in the movie. Ernie Hudson. He's been in The Crow.
Basket. A-Team, Taxi Cab Wars.
Congo.
Yep. Oz. He was in Oz, the TV show. And but yeah, I mean, apparently he had a bigger role. Winston had a bigger role in this film, but obviously he got cut down.
Yeah. Because it's a long time since he comes into it, isn't he?
Yeah. I think he had like 400 pages on when I think God, and you only had like 40 pages of script. It's pretty like the Ghostbusters that actually look absolutely knackered, don't they, from working too much.
So this guy on the left, he's been in quite a lot of films. The
thingy guy.
Is he not the bad guy? Is he not the bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop 3?
I don't know. I think he just get mixed with the hair. I don't think he had another job after this.
Nah, I mean, I can't check, but I'm sure he's the bad guy in Wonderland or Wonderworld. There you go. He's walking in the background.
I love Beverly Hills Cop 3. One of my favourites because George Lucas is in it for 2 seconds.
He's definitely recognisable.
I think everyone was in the 80s of a big.
So yeah, he's a sex pester. What was the book that bought out a couple of years ago? I know we both nearly bought it, but it was quite expensive. The book, man, the Book of Souls.
There was a Ghostbuster one.
Yeah.
Forbidden Spirit Guide.
That's the one, yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Fuck off.
I had like illustrations of all ghosts, and even from the real Ghostbusters, I had all illustrations told you like class and what they're doing and the back of them. like 2 versions. It was like a red one and a green one, and like one was like a limited edition from somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's definitely the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yeah. I think the guys in the background on the roller skates, because it's not blades, so it's roller skates, weren't they?
They were looking like they were a police academy, them, man. Like, the instructors, like fucking Hightower. You know, like, is it... yeah, well, that, or Back in Action when they're all like, Citizens on Patrol when they're training them, and they're all in them red jumpsuits.
Yeah, that's what he made us. I love Citizens on Patrol.
There he is, there, is just twirling.
What's he do? Put on his uniform.
The Trap. Walter Peck, man. Walter Peck will be in soon. William Alton, or whatever you want to call him.
From Die Hard.
Aye. Die Hard and Biodome.
Oh yeah, it was.
If that's Harold Ramis in the corner, I don't think that's Harold Ramis. That, you know, that shot there, because he never turns around.
This is doing some calculations, you know, on the storage facility. On the
I mean,
containment unit.
Going back, I can't think of anything worse now than smoking on camera, because you're going to have a cigarette in your mouth all day.
I'm surprised I haven't like CGI'd out for like a youth version or something. You know, did like the guns in the ET.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Walter Peck, man. He just plays the guy you love to hate.
Mm-hmm. And exactly what you were Doctor of, Mr. Fink.
God, he's a bit of a creep, like.
Look, the environmental agency too, doesn't he?
Look at Danny Potts, man, just sticking a head round, peeking in the corner.
Oh yeah.
Well, no. I love it how Venkman's got the big office though.
Yeah, really messy.
It's a bit blurry in the background, like.
Yeah, I've noticed that actually. I've probably seen before. It's just my eyes with my glasses and stuff, but.
Like, it literally, like, around Bill Murray sitting on that seat, even like the little clock and stuff, they're all like very soft focus kind of look.
Actually, yeah, I've never noticed that before. I never noticed the potato chips in the background. I must be hungry.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely ready for a meal after this one.
Yeah, you're right. It is really blur actually. Again, it depends where I got this transfer from. They probably use the same transfer they used to use with the DVD.
I don't know how they're all smoking now downstairs except for Egon. That's a pretty big Twinkie.
I'm not a fan of Twinkies. Hey, I never noticed in front of Ray's desk, like, first time I noticed that. I think I had a Twinkie a few years ago. There's an American shop, sweets, and they're not that nice, to be honest, like.
See, that's it. I always wanted a Twinkie because Apollo in Die Hard buys all the Twinkies and like, what's a Twinkie? Like, you know what I mean? What about the Twinkie? That's another one of them composite shots there. Even adding the lighting in, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So this is a massive set though. This as well, and it's built quite high off the ground to give it that height as well, isn't it? So
it was, yes. I think it was one of the sets that were used for film for quite a while. But yeah, absolutely right. The Terror
Dogs.
This has been some of the practical effects kind of look a bit.
They look it look really bad when it runs across the street and when it flies out the wall into the flies out the door into the wall. It's just that's really bad.
I'm thinking of,
yeah. Look at it trying to creep past. I mean, how is he going to? You know who Rick Moranis reminds me of? Casper. He's got very. No, he's just got very similar mannerisms. He's definitely got a similar look.
Right. I think
Rick Moranis is due for a return. Disney Plus, isn't he? Shrunk the Kids.
I really think it's going to come back. Ghostbusters or Spaceballs. I don't think it'd be like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like to return to cinema. I mean, it'd be definitely new Ghostbusters for them, but
he must have got offered a fair bit of money for Answer the Call, and he must have turned that down.
Who knows? I mean, because obviously he did the voice of Doc Helmet and the Goldbergs last year, just a voice role. And he does like a few like comic CD, like a singing CD player, but yeah, he's just been retired since his wife died and looked to the kids. That was
There's just been a picture on her desk, and it looked very similar to the picture used in Aliens, but the extended version of Aliens, where you've seen Sigourney Weaver's mum, and it's used to be like a daughter. It's just as you're panning round, it's on the far desk. You can just see it as she's walking in there. It looks very similar. And it makes sense, you know what I mean? Now this scene's quite terrifying, especially for a kid, especially where the hands come out. Because you must have about 6 or 7 people underneath this chair.
Yeah, if they said when you watch it, like, she went, just go ahead guys, just go do what you have to do, and one of boobs. If you watch it a bit.
I mean, she is an amazing actress, like there's no shadow of a doubt about that. Has she ever won an Academy Award? So,
really great.
That's terrifying, that is an amazing practical effect.
Cool.
And she's gone. Do do do.
Scene score, which got recently issued for the first time ever, is full on CD.
You got muffly. You're going a bit muffly. Oh yeah. Yeah.
On the Bernstein score.
I've got the score, like the slime vinyl. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's the album that doesn't have Ray Park Jr. on. It's just the entire scores.
That's all you need is and there's a lot of tracks on it. I've never. It's always just been in the background, or I've never used it.
Yeah. That's what I like about scores. Look at these when they start dancing. He dances like Casper as well, look. That's how Casper dances. There you go. So yeah, we're going to... check it. Imagine that, man.
He knows everyone, like Ted, and he just knows about it. He just talks about all like tax and stuff. He just tells everyone all their personal details and stuff.
Just that terror dog just looks amazing, but this is where it doesn't look very good at all. When it bursts out here, yeah.
Yeah, you can see the black lines from the blue screenings. I mean,
but like there, it looks amazing.
Yeah, the practical looks amazing.
And then see that when he comes out the door there, it just.
Just when a girl who's dancing kind of falls down a little bit. I always think she's falling up in the building, in the window, and the background think she just fell down.
So he comes the dog again. He comes in. See, it just. Oh yeah, I mean it does look really bad going across the floor. The scene here where he can't get in the restaurant and like everyone's looking at him, but they did something similar on Answer the Call, but they point to the door. I don't know if you noticed that one. Answer the Call is a very similar scene to this when she's braying on the wall.
Oh yeah, bring on the window to the. You have to tell him.
Oh God, that must have absolutely knocked when he falls into that chair, because they are like cast iron. It's that outside furniture painted white, which are really heavy.
I mean, if you think about it now, we're watching it 1080 on HD TVs. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to judge a little bit, because obviously when you're watching VHS, it probably would have looked a lot better. You know what I mean? But now, because we're watching it in HD, it would be mad. They could have went back and did a little bit more work on it, but...
See that scene there when you see the terror dog and then you see him slide down the window, the terror dog isn't there.
Yeah, but it does look good though. The terror dog does look good in the particle effect.
Dana Barrett.
It brings a cougar to a party, yeah. Again, we're nearly come towards the end of the film soon. I mean, geez, it's run really quick.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're definitely halfway over. I mean, she does look nice in this bit, but slams the door in his face.
That's happened to all of us one time or another.
I know. Trying to look for the peacock, man. Are you the keymaster or the gatekeeper? Oh, are you the keymaster?
She's a gatekeeper, and obviously she needs a keymaster.
So essentially, going back to her boyfriend before, so he must be the father of the kids in the second one.
Of Oscar, yeah. I think so, yeah. If that's right, yeah. Well, that's slime.
She's looking very... But who else would you cast in that? It would have been a no... Like, there isn't anyone at that era I can think of being in it. I mean, I got a bit of a shock when... Is it Kathleen Turner? When she plays...
Oh, yeah, from the Romance in the Stones.
But, like, you see her now... I'm forgetting what she was in recently. When she... Well, she plays Chandler's dad in fucking... Friends, doesn't she?
She was also in Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah, she's in it. She's almost unrecognisable.
There's I forgot what from the
But you can't picture anyone else being in her role at that time.
No, not now. No.
Because there's a lot of
that. I don't know why. Just.
Because it was too early for Kim Basinger.
Yeah, she was in Batman, wasn't she? Yeah.
9.5 weeks. I watched that for the first time a few weeks ago.
Oh wow!
Screams the 80s. That. She starts float, but like when she floats above the bed, it's just a very it's just a lift, but the dress hides it.
Yeah. Just like what it did, isn't it, kind of thing? But as a kid, you don't know what's going on. Yeah. I mean, it's like what? As a kid, you had.
Especially because as I said, like you had the cartoon, and then you see the movie, and it's like when you see the Turtles movie, and you've got you've got it when they're not aimed at kids, they're aimed at like a full audience. You know what I mean? But I didn't know that this was made before the cartoon kind of thing, and you're watching it, and it's really dark. But yeah, that's the dress is just hiding there.
Yeah. And again, that Elmer Bernstein score.
I said the dress was hiding there. It's clearly lifted up and.
I think just turning there, isn't it? Really, like a kebab.
Oh, don't say food, man. It'll be a long time before we're gonna have a kebab, may I tell you?
Oh yeah, well, yeah. So I've got a cup of tea and Moranis, man. I mean, you cannot beat him.
Look at fucking Rick Moranis, man, feral as fuck.
That's how I look in the mornings before I get up.
But see, this is hilarious. He talks to the horse.
Yeah.
Are you the kid?
So, I always got confused, like, because I thought he's called, it was 20, he's not called Vince Crawford. As a kid, you didn't know what was going until you were, I mean, into the teenage years, really. Like, the two different people in his success.
I mean, his character wasn't in the cartoon, though, was he?
I think you put him in the later season. Definitely put him in the later, when it was the real Ghostbusters. When it rebranded itself.
Yeah.
Out of that dropping off or picking up.
Aye.
you dropping off, you're just going to nick someone because you're dodgy.
But like, at the end of the day, how much would it like to lock down that like street? There's nothing going past. You know what I mean? It's dead. Like, no one's walking past, and I mean that's a live location in New York. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, look in the background in the monitor. You can see the devil dog on the screen, which is quite quirky.
Yeah. Well, that it's like it looks like a predator kind of heat signature
Yeah.
kind of thing. He's just got like a saucepan on his area, the thing on his head, the touch of wires. Drainage.
Yes, have some.
But that's the best thing about Ghostbusters. Anything they made, they're just handmade themselves, really. You know what I mean? That's why the proton packs look so used, and they just look so like, because no one proton pack is the same as the other one. They're all completely different because they're all handmade.
Just sort of, again, it's like that early, like, you had that massive boom in the start, like, all the slasher kind of movies, and, you know, like, people, like, was it latex and all that stuff? There was a lot of advancements in being able to shape plastic a bit better, like, on an independent level, rather than, like, big commercial stuff, and, you know, that's where you got a lot of people coming out of, becoming big in that.
Yeah, I said the guys who did Boss Films from ILM anyway, who worked on Star Wars and other films, so they created their own called Boss Studios.
Well, what's the other company called? Is it Banned from the Ranch? When the two people who do all the special effects, and they got their name because they got banned from George Lucas's ranch.
That sounds right, that like.
Check out that telephone. Cable. It's got a cable.
Look at the bloody mess everywhere, man. Oh. And again, 300 cc's of. Could it go on? What? Is it going on? Did he have the drugs?
Looks like the Coca-Cola can in the back's a Tab. Do you remember Tab when it was coming out? Clear Coke.
Yeah, because I didn't see it.
Virgin Coke as well? What happened to that?
Same as Virgin Mega. Don't go there.
Yeah, I used to work at I worked at our price. You worked at Virgin, and look what happened to us.
Technology. I always think it's where she's breathing because obviously she's been drugged up, not me. But as a kid, it's going, it's so weird. Where she's been. One of my favourite scenes is the splits where in the car, and the music and everything. Amazing.
Oh yeah, because they've been out for a while, like away from it all happening.
Tabs, obviously.
But that's what you call poor man's process. That's just them sitting and someone rocking the car and someone rocking the light.
Yeah, like they did in Millennium Falcon and Star Wars. It's two guys on stage just rocking it.
Yeah, but a lot of people find that harder because, like, you know what I mean. I always look at that and go, right, well, he's, you know, like, you've got to think about driving because he's not really driving, and you go, are you oversteering? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I say? The sea's boiled, the sky's still red, you know? Judgment Day, Terminator 2. I was thinking Terminator 2.
T2. I once tried to listen to the audio commentary of Terminator and had 22 people on the podcast. I was like, what? And every time it would talk, James Cameron, the director, and then he would talk as well, so...
Yeah.
I wonder how. I wonder if there's still an Ecto one driving around New York. I wonder if anyone's actually bought one of them like that.
If you watch the documentary Ghost Heads, people make them themselves and stuff like that. But the one they use, I think there is an original one on the Sony lot from this film, Ghostbusters 2, Ecto 1. They reused the frame for Ghostbusters Afterlife because it's not apart anyway. Because they used a different car in the second film.
Power walking in.
Just that, again, that Albert Bernstein music, you know, like do something's going to happen. You know what I mean, it's like a lead up. Walking in. You know what I mean,
I think it's really well scored.
Yeah.
The workman. That room though looks dead small. You know what I mean? As the basement, it's tiny, isn't it?
And then you watch a real Ghostbusters, and the containment unit is the size of a friggin' house. And you can actually see into it and go into it and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just like a thing just locked in the wall.
Look at Rick Moranis just laughing in the background.
Playing his finger, yeah. I love that bit.
That police officer's got far too much makeup on.
Yes. Proper American Italian, isn't he? Hey.
Sicily? No, that's not the word.
And again, if you look at the background where Peter was just before, you see all the traps and stuff in the background.
The actor here, man, he's
you see like the hazard stuff on top of the traps in the background there. I like the electric powers, people's like his belts with all the screwdrivers and stuff like that.
Look at them all slowly going.
You know what's going to happen. And when he goes puff, you know, like with his hands, it's going to be an explosion kind of thing. Because I know what's going to happen. I love that noise. Awesome.
The red as well, the redness about it.
Yeah. And the bits of again, and this would have been a set anyway, if you think about it, because obviously the wall's going to start having light shining through.
Yeah.
Again, the cinder blocks and stuff.
But that's them running through LA, then out into New York Street. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, yeah, it is. It's well done, though. I wonder how they got the firehouse fixed in the second one. Because obviously, in the second one, they were banned from being Ghostbusters, and they got sued by every state, county, and judgment or something like that, didn't they? So we're bankrupt and stuff. And then somehow we'll have the firehouse all fixed up again.
I was going to say, is this not the one where that the porn actor's in it?
Ron Jeremy, yeah.
Yeah.
He's right at the end. I'll point him out to you if you want.
See, the thing is isn't like Winston's character try to be like the audience's point of view coming in this to make sense of all the science and all that, but he comes in far too late though, doesn't he?
Kind of, yeah. That's the reason we'll have to like. I love when Egon goes starts to have a fight with him and stuff like that.
Oh, look, it's Stay Puft on the wall there as well. Do you see that?
Yeah. Right next to the firehouse, yeah.
Very clever foreshadowing that.
I just think it's great that Egon goes to a fight, Dick or thingy we call
Walter Peck.
Walter, yeah.
The music here, though, it's like a little mini 80s montage, though, isn't it?
This song is really good by Mick Smiley, Magic. And if you listen to the original version, not on the soundtracks or anything like that, the original version is like starts off really slow and it goes really quick, and goes really slow and really quick. So this is just like obviously just really done for this film. If you ever have a chance to listen to it, yeah, Mick Smiley, really good version. His version, better than the film version.
So obviously you get a lot of... See, this wasn't really designed for kids yet, though, was it, though? So... But that's why the second one had to cater to it. I hope Slimer's in the new one, like... I think Slimer was... It's great how they used Slimer in Answer the Call, and even the shout-out to Stave Push Marshmallow Man.
Again, we may have to do a commentary on Answer the Call, because it's been a while since I've seen it, like...
Oh, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I think the problem... I mean, when Ivan Reitman did Evolution, you can kind of see why people are going, oh yeah, Sean William Scott would be a great new Ghostbuster, and everyone just seemed to like fall flat in it, didn't they? And I think, you know, like, it was all girls. It's the director of Bridesmaids, isn't it? The Answer the Call. And I think, like, you know, I mean, my review of Ghostbusters is one of the ones where I went to bed, I'd done the review, I put it online, we got it earlier than America, and it's something like I woke up and I had nearly 20,000 views on the video, right? And I was just like, and it was just hate, like people were just hating on it just because it was girls, but like...
You know what, when I first seen the trailer, I wasn't that pleased with it, but when I went to see it, I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it, and the best thing about Answer the Call was that it brought Ghostbusters back up for the new generation. Yeah,
but obviously, I mean, Melissa McCarthy, I mean, it tried to go... I mean, Ghostbusters isn't really a comedy. It has some funny, sarcastic bits.
It's a supernatural comedy, come on, how
but it's... Tagline, remember? But the Answer the Call was there was a lot of, especially when you see the uncut version on DVD, and there's F-bombs and everything in it, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. The extended version was really like a 15, wasn't it?
Yeah. Your girlfriend lives in Spook Central.
And then you get a little bit more story about, obviously, Ivan Shando and stuff like that. And it's like, alright, so, I mean, he started a secret society in 1920 and goes to worship us, so it makes more sense now. The Keymaster and Gatekeeper, now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
I love it when the Eagles saying they had like loads of followers, and all prisoners come in really close to him, trying to understand what he's on about.
But it was a long time between Ghostbusters. When was Ghostbusters 2?
89.
89, isn't it?
Yep. They got beat by Batman.
I got a lot of love for Ghostbusters 2. I think Ghostbusters 2 is fucking terrifying.
I'm not between Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I would go for Ghostbusters 2 because because I went to the cinema in the audience.
There's Apollo there. Sorry, Paul, but there's Apollo from Die Hard. Very quickly.
Yep, it is. Yes.
Very, very briefly, and like you're watching that as a kid and go, well, I mean, I like there's certain films I seen at a younger age I probably shouldn't have, and Predator, Die Hard. I mean, I went to the pictures to see the Gremlins, man. Because my dad, I got left from my dad's mates, and like, was he old enough to see this? And I just remember him saying, "Well, what else we're gonna do?" But like, I remember seeing Die Hard at a young age and going, "Hey, he's the copper in that, and he's the copper in this."
Mm-hmm. It's the same universe. Again, I mean, look at the backgrounds. I mean, when they came out and.
Yeah, you've just took the words out of me. See, again, that would just be CGI if it was there now.
Yeah.
You got the magic doorway.
And then, that's it, and then you don't realise, oh my god, it's actually a doorway behind where fridge was to go upstairs, really, is it, if you think about it?
Yeah.
Would that be the kitchen?
Yeah, that's a kitchen there.
That would be the kitchen, wouldn't it?
I tell you, when I was doing the podcast with Jaws 4 the other night, like when the morning, like, and they're having the funeral, and like, not only is one of the actresses from the original, like, there's two actresses. One of them's the mother of the boy who gets killed, you know, on the.
Oh, she gets slapped.
Yeah, yeah.
She brought him.
And she's like, they're just in the background, just sitting there, and just like, oh, that's pretty cool. He's in Dogs and Cats Living Together speech. It's fucking brilliant.
It's great, isn't it?
I've seen shit that would turn you white. Is that what he says?
Yep.
Yes, this man has no dick.
I keep thinking, like, when I watch documentaries, he always gets called out all the time, doesn't he? Dickless and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're just walking down the street and stuff, like, kids are just taunting him all the time.
Yo, dickless.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
But like that's it. I mean, a fucking random Pope walks in for no fucking reason. Obviously, he's not in Ghostbusters 2, but he's in the Die Hard 2, isn't he? Just so happens he's on the same plane as John McClane's wife and that, and like,
yeah,
you know, he was in two massive movies in the 80s, which predicts him being a prick. I mean, he's a very similar. Have you seen Biodome before?
Yes.
He's like,
one,
yeah, he's a very similar kind of character in that as well.
Mm-hmm. With a really bad wig, though.
Oh yeah,
Bad wig.
Big ginger mullet.
Christ, Biodome, I haven't seen it for years. I remember Tenacious D being in Biodome.
Yeah, they are in the background, yeah. We need to save some trees, singing about trees. Well, Kyle from Tenacious D's in Evolution. He's one of the coppers when they find the meteorite.
Alright. He pops up a lot of things, like was he in Cable Guy and stuff like that?
Alright, yeah, he's in loads, I think. Yeah. Well, Jack Black's in Cable Guy, though, isn't he?
Yes. I think, yes, he's his best friend.
Because that's the connection to Ben Stiller, because Ben Stiller directed Cable Guy, didn't he? So.
Yeah. Here again, here comes the dog and cat bit. I'm wrong, we go to jail. Love it. They can just be like the more he talks to the mayor, and the mayor's just thinking about all the polling cards and stuff like that, isn't he? He's thinking about his own future, really. His you know what I mean? He's thinking about his registered voters who's going to vote for him because he's got Ghostbusters in to save the world, so he's thinking about his future.
That's how bad politics get into it. It's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't remember the last time we had to vote. Like, every time I like, who's that? And I think it was like, oh, it's the Prime Minister. And I was like, since when?
Yeah. And then in the second one, doesn't want to know any of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he is in the second one, isn't he, that actor?
Yeah. He goes next to Peter Fakeman's World of a Psychic. I love this bit. Saving the Day, I love that song.
The guy who was in Ghostbusters 2 on World of the Psychic, he's quite famous. Kevin, he's in Transformers, isn't he? He's the dad in Transformers.
He is, yeah. God, look at Ecto 1. I love Ecto 1. Look at that, man.
See, you can see a square around that effect.
Oh, yeah.
Repent, the end is at hand. Someone's probably walking around with that sign right now.
Yeah, you're on Jeremy is on in a minute, I'm sure. Somewhere.
Another 80s montage.
Love that song, Saving the Day. Saving a day. Saving a day.
Do you ever play the video game, like, early on? Like, the original one where You had to go up the stairs and all that and press the buttons. The Angry Gamer Nerds made an amazing video about that.
Yes, I remember that game very fondly. As in, I hated it. They'd buy loads of like proton packs and ghost traps and stuff. Yeah.
That guy's voluntarily dyed his hair ginger. What's he doing? This is the first time we've seen Egon in action, though, isn't it?
As in...
Like, he's got his pack on properly, you know, and he's going to get involved in the action.
No, getting Slimer. Oh, no, yeah, right, yeah.
Winston wasn't there, yeah.
No, he shot Slimer and then he didn't stop.
No, sorry, I meant Winston.
Whoa. Oh, Winston, okay. Trying to get mixed up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's a bit coming up here when, like, you can see the big boulders when they fall down. It might be later on, or you just see them hitting cars and stuff and making no damage whatsoever. I mean...
Run ahead and nothing happens, yeah.
But again, I think this is LA, this bit.
Yeah, it was all a set, wasn't it?
Yeah, that definitely wasn't Bill Murray who fell down the hole.
And then they could actually set the falls down and then they could raise it up. Yeah, it's definitely not them. Over the top acting and all the extras just falling down. I think when a police car goes, it goes woo! There's little things you remember again. Why don't I remember that for? But it just adds to it.
Yeah, that's definitely a back location, like.
Yeah, I don't think we really would dig up streets in New York unless it's Fifth Avenue.
Well, the opening of Die Hard 3, man, when they blow that truck up, that's actually in New York. Like, you wouldn't get away with that now, like, but it's like for when they did that, it was immense. Because Die Hard with Vengeance, man, where that music hits down and then you hear that montage and just the fast times. Because it just slaps you with a fun, doesn't it? And then that truck explodes. Yeah. It's like, Jesus.
No, somewhere in the city. I'll start.
Because the crowd were chanting different stuff, though, wasn't it? Is that there as well?
Yeah. Ghost Smashers. And then they went, we kind of keep doing 5 different takes. What's a film called? Ghostbusters. We pay £5 million Film Nation. We call it Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. And that's how it happened.
That's one of the beauty things about the logo, though, isn't it? Because it had nothing written on it.
That's it, yeah. Oh, God, take me when I came upstairs.
I mean, there's some fucking stairs, mind.
And again, right at the top looks like it's all like matte painting, doesn't it?
Yeah. Rick Moranis.
Yeah, you're right. This was like the biggest set in LA or New York or something at the time. I think like a few $1 million or something.
Yeah, I mean, look at the backdrop of it, man. This the music like it's a trumpet, isn't it? Like bob 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 bob.
Family Guy, foot, right foot. That's it. Like, just no middle-aged men, just, you know what I mean, trying to make a living, catching ghosts.
The piano is dead. See, I mean, like, the thing about that shot there as well, they're moving, nothing else is moving, so it's obviously been as painting, you know, on top of it.
That's it, especially like we're watching in HD, like I said, so it kind of comes out a little bit more. I mean, you're right, it's pretty good though.
Oh, I mean, again, when it was made, it was amazing, because like even 5 years later, they were still using that same effect on Batman. You know, there's a lot of composite shots and stuff.
I think when they go past and it knocks a brick down from the wall.
Yeah, it just happened, yeah.
With his proton pack. No, watch your proton pack, man, careful.
I mean, that is huge set if considering, like, where that camera must be for that.
The size of the doors also, bloody hell.
And then they turn back into terror dogs. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So where do the terror dogs go? Do you know what I mean? It's the terror dogs appear, then they go out, they find these people, and then they turn back into terror dogs. It's like, well, why?
But now use terror dogs to possess them, then I don't know. I never thought of that much, to be honest.
I've got a terror dog action figure, but I thought they would have made a pop vinyl. I mean, that bit there, when they're running up the stairs, looks fucking weird. See, this is one of them scenes we were talking about with the pan and scan. This scene's here where Winston's cut out of it.
Yeah, he always gets a bad rap, doesn't he?
And this looks like a cover of Tangerine Dream's album work, this. Can he like spray paint artwork? Now she's a model, isn't she? She's from
Russian model, I think.
She's from Europe somewhere.
But apparently, I don't know if this is right or not. It was supposed to be Pee Wee Herman or something like that, Paul Rubens or something. I think I read, or a guy in a suit or something like that. It's supposed to be a guy in a suit.
I've heard about that. Maybe Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
But it's like she's, but it's just like wearing like bubbles and all that and.
Yeah. This one line is go get a raid. It's absolutely awesome.
Look at them.
It's one of those films you could just make a million quotes from, you know what I mean?
Them fucking.
And everyone knows what you're on about.
Them red contacts she's got in her eyes, man. Jesus.
Looks painful. She's not that really good of a bad person. I mean, it jumps over them, the vaporizer, then she comes back as a stay pot. And that's really it.
It's like the new Hellboy. You get like Mila Lokovich has been chopped up in bits for like 10,000 years or something, and she's back for 10 minutes and fails.
Right. I've never seen it yet.
I think it's unnecessary. They could have just done a third movie rather than try and remake it.
I like one film, man.
But even them backdrops there, man, the lights are flickering on, do you know what I mean? Small little details.
Yeah, you can see like the red lights on top of airplanes so they don't crash. I love that. When you guard, you say yes. And again, Elmer Bernstein, when music comes in and it's a do, mean business.
Fucking them contacts must have knocked. Flying through the air. And she's wearing heels. You know what I mean? Like, she should just be barefooted. Why would she be wearing heels?
Again, we're just flying through the air. I mean, you can see the outline of all the special effects. I mean, and again, there's nothing wrong with the special effects. It's just, if they had a bit more time, we could have tidied a lot of the stuff up. But because they were going towards, like a summer release, they had to do it there and then, really.
Especially when they've went there, because Sony obviously owning Blu-ray, they've obviously, Blu-ray's their baby, and they've like pushed all these films out again, and still not given any treatment.
No. I mean, like I keep saying, man, I'm sure it's still the same DVD transfer that I used in like 2004.
I think this might be the scene I was talking about before when all the bricks fall down and one of them hits a car and it bounces like an inflatable ball. One of these coming down.
Yeah. Look at Paul Rae was just doing a bit of a shake there. Shaking around.
You doing the voice as well.
Yeah.
Again though, going on the effect, this is because obviously this is all mainly mastered by the Japanese with Godzilla movies about what they're about to do now.
Alright, yeah.
That big like lizard walking around and all the miniature work.
Yeah. But that's it, because no one thought it would look that good, and this is a bit that they weren't too sure about, the Stay Puft, because people could just have a laugh at it or just not take it seriously. But I think it's worked out really well. Apart from Ghostbusters 2, which is Ghostbusters 2 is exactly the same film as Ghostbusters 1, start, middle and end, obviously. But then you've got Statue of Liberty walking around instead of a Stay Puft.
Yeah, I mean that is the most ludicrous thing about the movie, the Stay Puft.
It got a bit lazy, really. That's all, but again, I still love Ghostbusters 2 more.
This is the, I remember this as a kid, just seeing it. Boom, boom, walking past. It's our first shot over the building, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And again, they had to slow it all down, didn't it? Like a frame rate, and then like the street was obviously like a model, and then there was sand, wasn't it? It was sand or something like that was put in like in the ground. So when it walked, and obviously when the fire hydrants went off,
it's sand, not water. Aye.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Again, you're right, man. It's all the old CGI now, man, and it still looks amazing now. And I keep going about practical effects, but it still look amazing.
Oh, I mean the suits. I mean it's really there. That's it. It's really there. It's a guy in a suit, so it's there. It's not been digitally put in. Oh, we spent loads of time working on the veins in his arms and stuff. You're like, well, I didn't see that.
That's it. And animatronics, you know what I mean? It's and the space is amazing. And again, like I said, I think they had like loads of suits, didn't they? Which cost like $500,000 or something like that. And they had to burn them and stuff like that when they cut into the building.
Well, that's all the cars as well. They're all
toy cars, weren't they?
bought the right size, and then just
other ones,
built loads of different, like all them ones down there. There you go. There's your water, sand.
That's it, yeah.
Now, when he steps here, they hadn't polished the effect, had they? So he actually goes into the church.
That's it, yeah.
But like,
it does look a bit, yeah.
I think it's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blast them.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
But it was going to be a bit of a King Kong there, going to be climbing up the building, that. But like when he's on fire, you know what I mean? It's just like, bloody hell.
That's a guy in a suit on fire, isn't it?
Yeah.
When they get a proper stunt guy to do that.
Well, you can't just set your fucking actors on fire, man.
Well.
Well, even the third Answer the Call, that's got the same ending. You know what I mean?
In the extended edition, it has, but not the theatrical. The theatrical one, they use the Ecto 1 trap. They use Ecto 1 stuff on top to make a big trap to get things sucked in. But then in the extended version, they cross the streams. I'm sure that's a big difference at the end.
No, I was on about like the end of the movie when you've got like a big antagonist.
Oh yeah, Rowan. Yeah, the symbol. Yeah. But to be honest, like, it looks. Yeah, you're right. Because a lot of people thought Rowan, the symbol, was Mr. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, look at that massive hand they're coming across there. I mean, it's like obviously that was re-projection, but it was really awesome. But like, it's here where you see the Stay Puft behind them as well when his face blows up.
I think it really awesome. Just got burnt.
Yeah, he's just creeping up in the background.
So that's sacrifice that.
Boom. I mean, it doesn't. It hasn't beat around the ending, has it? It's very fast tracked. That's a mint explosion, though. Now, the actor we've been talking about, who's called William Alton, I think. That looked as well. I don't know if you want to go. Like, we can't rewind podcast, but that looked like the Stay Puft Man's face in the sky there.
I didn't notice it. Sorry, man.
But yeah, he actually gets this dumped on him.
It does, yeah. What was it? Probably really blowing up straight from form, wasn't it? Oh, look at Hector One's getting bloody pity, man. Again, I mean, that matte painting, of the buildings behind looks amazing.
It's a lot of fucking shaving foam, that, like, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll be itching because I'm allergic to some forms of it.
I'm allergic to antiperspirant. I don't know, did you ever hear that story when it was one of them, it was about 3 years ago. I remember we were in the old shop, man, and we were sweating. It was that hot. I think the aircon might have been down or something. And I borrowed some antiperspirant off Big Dave, sprayed it, and obviously I didn't realise because I'm allergic to it, and my armpit hair fell out the next day.
Was it like itching in already?
No, my armpit hair just came out.
Oh, God.
Like, I literally reached up and all my armpit hair was stuck together, and I was like, and I went to pull it and all my hair came out in one chunk. I was like,
Lovely. Oh, God. How come Peter is the only one that has got anything all over him?
Aye.
I was thinking of that. I was wondering, figuring that out. He's only got like bits under his hair and bit in the back, and that's it.
That's why Bill Murray's turned up the set. We're going to cover you in shaving foam, and he's went, nah.
That's true, yeah. Because it was only the last moment he turned up on set when they were filming on the very first day.
Well, in that film I was telling you about, the Bill Murray stories, which if you can find it, mate, watch it. It's amazing. You can get a hold of Bill Murray by dialing his answer machine, but like he doesn't have a mobile phone or anything. And like even with Lost in Translation, he turned up the day before in Tokyo for the film, but like they nearly had another actor and all kinds of stuff.
It did the same thing for Afterlife also. He was going to do it, and he's not, and he's not, and they're all sitting together, and someone took a picture of them all sitting together having like some food, and went, oh, he's in it, when they were filming.
But I can definitely see them just all turning up at the end.
Yeah. Right, the funeral, get them together, and then for a little bit, and then obviously ghosts go loose, activate something, and then get in touch with them all, but can't wait.
Piss bomb.
There is a lot of swear words in this thing, isn't it?
They're absolutely covered, them guys.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. I mean, I know reason why, because obviously they need a film, Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver getting together. You know what I mean? So you can distinguish who's who. Can some brain tissue? Yes, of course you can.
Ghostbusters. Bill Murray. I see. It's a very short movie, though.
Yes. Short but great film. It's so weird that Jason Reitman's doing a new film. So, who's in Ghostbusters 2?
He swears in that. My dad says you're full of shit.
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
Now, this is something I think is missing from more traditional new movies. They did this in Predator, where you get the end credits, and like they put the names with the actors, so you know who they are.
Yeah.
Now we just get a black screen.
Yeah. It's like a players kind of thing, isn't it? Like like a musical or something like that.
Yeah.
They'll come out and you kind of like, oh, that's a kind of. You're right, yeah. You don't.
I mean, fair enough. Annie Potts didn't get a name there, but.
It's alright. She's in.
But Ernie Hudson does. Ernie Hudson, man. Annie Potts and William Alton have his name, and he doesn't even get and Ernie Hudson because that's his last credit there.
Oh, yeah.
There's people with Ghostbusters t-shirts in the background, waving them.
Yep. Blue ones too. Yeah, I'm really great for them. What is it? Was a 20 year old and still on this franchise that just it goes away for a little bit and comes back. Goes away and comes back.
I mean, I can't believe how fast they've made a second movie. Like, I mean, to like new one, if you know what I mean.
I think they kept saying doing a film, and no. Sony said you need to do another film because obviously the real Ghostbusters is making loads of money, and I mean, Murray disregards the second film more than anything else because he says more about special effects and the story, which is kind of true. But the effects are, like you said, amazing in the second film, especially the court scene with the Scary brothers.
And there's Slimer. And that's the end of the movie. So.
That's it.
And then we get a slow back rings. No, like, hidden extras.
No credits, screens, or no, like said, after credits stuff. They need it in them days.
Yeah. I mean, they left the, there was an end scene credit on the new one, wasn't there? When they hear Zool on the anagram or whatever.
Yeah.
But even like Sigourney Weaver turning up randomly at the end of hidden within the credits, it just almost seemed pointless, didn't it?
Yeah, she was just like Holtzman's teacher. Yeah, I only watched the film again. It's been ages since I've seen it. But yeah, it said Ghostbusters, man. It's still around even to this day. Like I said, it keeps coming back, disappearing, coming back, and then new film this year. Hopefully it won't get delayed, but we'll have to see about that. But it just means more collectible stuff.
But they've never done another TV show. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, like a new real Ghostbusters. But I think because it kind of burned off towards the end, because obviously real Ghostbusters movies, then it was Slimer and a real Ghostbuster. Slimer kind of took over. Because obviously Slimer was called Slimer, real Ghostbusters. And then Slimer looks completely different in Ghostbusters 2 than he does in Ghostbusters 1, doesn't he?
He's just got a brief cameo in the second. And then there's two of them in the new one, isn't there?
Yeah, there's Mr. Slimer, yeah. But yeah, there we go. One in the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Ghostbusters.
So, when do you want to do the next one?
Whenever. I'm free for quite a while.
We're all free. So, this is the end of the podcast. It's been great to have Paul Rae here. And I'm just going to say thanks for listening. And I'll say goodbye and get Paul to shout goodbye.
Goodbye.